about this issue as folks on the other side who are absolutist and think that any gun safety measure is somehow an assault on freedom or communistic, or a plot by me to take over and stay in power forever or something. I mean, there are all kinds of crackpot conspiracy theories that float around there. Some of which, by the way, are ratified by elected officials. Number one, anybody in the business of selling firearms must get a license and conduct background checks or be subject to criminal prosecutions. It doesn't matter whether you're doing it over the internet or at a gun show, not where you do it, but what you do. We're also expanding background checks to cover violent criminals who try to buy some of the most dangerous firearms by hiding behind trusts, corporations, and various cutouts.
Exhaust leaks
We're also
bad.
taking steps to make the background check system more efficient. Under the guidance of Jim Comey and the FBI.
Now this includes, but is not limited to, food and livestock, water, plants, energy, health resources, transportation, and construction materials, and gives the government the ability to, quote, control the general distribution of any material, including applicable services in the civilian market. Now, White House Press Secretary Jay Carney laughed off a question about the document at today's briefing. Let's take a look. Some online commentary suggests this gives the executive branch power to allocate energy, food, water in either peacetime or wartime. And there are some conservative blogs that are pushing the notion that this suggests the White House is preparing for a war with Iran. Can you explain what this executive order was?
Well, I cannot explain that reaction to it. I think it was a fairly standard and routine piece of business.
Now, not everybody's laughing about this executive order. In fact, some have suggested this would give the President of the United States the authority to declare basically martial law during times of peace. And to be sure, this is simply the latest string of actions taken by the administration that ignore the basic principles of our Constitution. Joining me now in tonight's edition of The Real Obama, Jay Sekulow from the American Center for Law and Justice, and Fox News contributor Lenny Davis. Guys, welcome back. I'm laughing about it, Sean. How are you? All right. Well, let's give a little history here. Jay, we'll start with you because this was actually signed, or similar national defense resources preparedness by Bill Clinton. You have similar executive orders signed by Dwight Eisenhower, George W. Bush.
All these guys are trying to like not laugh.
Changed in this that I think has brought, legitimate criticism and concern. Can you go through that?
I think you're absolutely right. The idea of this act is nothing new. Presidents have had this since the 1950s. But what is different about this one, and different than any of the other one, is the definition of national defense. It's incorporated what's called the Stafford Act. I don't want to get overly technical, but this gives the president much broader authority than any of the previous acts. In fact, and Lenny may remember this, the previous acts didn't give incorporation of the Stafford Act, which is a civilian civil situation where the president would have unlimited authority, subject, of course, to checks and balances. We can't ignore checks and balances here. But the definition of national defense is broader than it has ever been